All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to NIO News Daily. Okay, today I want to take you over something that I heard online, and it made me want to make this video because I want to show people the importance of doing your own due diligence. Okay, so there's been some reports that the Onvo brand by NIO has they've had 50 to 60% cancellations. At least that's what I've heard from one YouTube channel. Now, this YouTube channel, I really like this YouTube channel. It's Courtside Financials. I'm not saying that this guy's saying anything wrong in his YouTube channel. I'm just saying it inspired me to go do my own due diligence. I After doing my own due diligence, I don't really agree with the way that it's being presented here. Again, I'm not saying that this is intentional. Excuse me, that it's intentional or some type of misinformation is trying to be. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I, like so many people, I'll see things online, I'll read things online, I'll take it at face value because I don't have time to do the research, to be honest with you. But it's up to me to do my own due diligence, do my own research. That's why people say in these videos, this is not financial advice. This is not Miami advice. This is not relationship advice. This is not health advice. Do your own due diligence, okay? So again, I like Courtside Financial, but I just want to show you guys, I picked up on this and I was like, hey, let me go back and research this and see, because it didn't really sound, well, it wasn't great news, but we all don't like to get great news. We like to get good news when it's a company we're invested in. But nonetheless, I said, let me go back and look. So I actually even commented on the video, but I'll just play the clip first and then you guys can see what I'm saying. Okay. Don't have the audio. Let's see. Okay. Maybe that's my, let's try this again.
We're about 50 to 60.
Here we go. All right, let's take a listen to the video.
Deliveries by March 2025. But here's the drama, and this is something that you won't hear anywhere else. About 50 to 60% of Onvo customers are backing out because they can't get their cars before the government subsidies expire. We're talking 1 to 2 million yuan in lost subsidies per customer. That's a big deal for buyers in the 200,000 yuan price range. Now let's put this into perspective. October deliveries across the entire industry are wild. Li Auto, 30,000 plus.
Okay, I'll stop it right there. And actually, even after I went back and reviewing this a second time, I see that this could have been taken two ways. It could have been taken that 50 to 60% of all people that are ordering a Onvo vehicle are backing out, and this is why they're backing out. Or you could take it as 50 to 60% of people that are backing out, this is why they are backing out. Let me explain. If you have 100 people, 5 people are canceling or backing out of their orders. 50 to 60% of 5 is 2.5 people, okay? So that's 2%. It's not really relevant. But if 50 to 60% of people are backing out in general, like, that would be a big number. That would be half or over half. So I'm really not sure, how he perceived it here. It could have been the former or the latter. I don't know. I'm simply making this video to point out why people need to go do their own due diligence so you can form your own opinion. Because actually, at first I thought he meant 50 to 60% of people in general back out, and this is why they back out. But now I watched it again, actually, and now I see, the way it was said, he just said 50 to 60% of people are backing out because. So that can be taken, either way. So first of all, I commend the brother on this video. Great job. But I'm just showing how I can even misinterpret things and how I needed to go back and actually listen to the earnings call myself to see, am I misinterpreting this? Okay, now let's look at another video. This guy's name is Mr. P. Oh, well, let me just show you. I left a comment on Courtside Financials video. You can go back and read it. And I and I left a detailed comment, so maybe he'll read it or whatnot. Just in case anybody else has the same confusion, and go back and listen to the earnings call, because I got a certain take from the earnings call, and we'll get into that in a second. But first, let's look at Mr. P's video and see what he's saying.
There are lots of Onvo cancellations due to the fact that they're not able to ramp up. So they talked about how 50 to 60% of cancellations for Onvo orders are because of the fact that they're not able to take delivery of their cars before the end of this year, where local subsidies can only be enjoyed in 2024. So in 2025, the subsidies are going to change for different cities, and people want to take advantage of that. And if you can't take delivery of the car this year, then they're going to miss out on it. So they have a license plate. They want to take delivery of the car right now. And if they can't take delivery of their Onvo, they're going to go with something else. Simple as that. No other further reason, all right? Whether it's...
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to let you guys go back and watch the video. But if you listen to here's my first thing, and I left a comment about this.
There are lots of Onvo cancellations.
He says there are lots of Onvo cancellations. There may be lots of Onvo cancellations, but I didn't get that from listening to the earnings call. So I'm going to play the earnings call so you guys can hear it. But I encourage you to go back and listen to the earnings call for yourself. Don't take what I'm saying. Don't take what he's saying or anybody's saying. It's your responsibility, if you're invested in a company, to do your own due diligence. And then the second thing he says, 50 to 60% of cancellations are because of these subsidies that they can't take advantage of. That I did hear the CEO say that in the earnings call. So let's go listen to the earnings call so that we can all, and I actually wrote down the time that it happens in the earnings call. It's at around the 22 minute 15-second mark. So let's listen.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for standing by for NIO Incorporated's third quarter 2024 earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in listen-only mode. Today's conference call is being recorded. I will now turn the call over to your host.
Okay, let me fast forward to where I think that this is. So I said it's at 22 minutes in. So let's just take a listen from here. Let's see.
In the first month, we actually believe that ramping up to 10,000 units per month in December, that is our third month of the full month delivery, and then ramping up to 20,000 in March next year is a reasonable speed and pace. It's true that this speed may not live up to some of your expectations. And we also understand that on the subsidy side, by the end of this year, some local subsidies and also the national trade-in subsidy will be gone. In that case, for some users who placed the order later may not have their cars picked up by the end of this year, and that will affect their subsidy. In that case, we have also looked at the users who eventually turned us off or turned us down, and 50 to 60% of those users eventually rejected us were because of the late delivery and the failure of not getting the subsidy by the end of this year. It's also understandable, as after all, Onvo product is around 200,000 something, and 10 or 20,000 subsidy can be a significant amount to them. For ET9 and the Firefly, in general, they also have their own ramp-up pace and the preparation. But for these two products, we will prepare the launch store more actively.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. I'm gonna back up again. Oops, because I heard her say, and she was, I guess, repeating what William Lee had said because it's translated. She said 50 to 60% of users that turned us on turned us off, or so it very well could be that I'm wrong, but I didn't get that sense. Let me back up again, and please, somebody leave a comment, chime in. Let us know what I'm possibly missing.
Thank you for the question. For the Onvo L60, it's true that people have the market has a higher expectation for its ramp up and the production capacity. However, we also need to understand that L60 comes with a lot.
Actually, let me go back. I went too far.
We also understand that on the subsidy side, by the end of this year, some local subsidies and also the national trade-in subsidy will be gone. In that case, for some users who placed the order later may not have their cars picked up by the end of this year, and that will affect their subsidy. In that case, we have also looked at the users who eventually turned us off or turned us down, and
The users who eventually turned us on. Okay. I guess that means in the app. I'm not 100% sure.
to 60% of those users eventually rejected us were because of the
50 to 60% of those users eventually rejected us. Okay. I don't know how to take that, to be honest with you. I'm not hearing that 50 to 60% of users canceled. 50 to 60% of users that turned us on. Maybe it means turned us on in the app. I don't know. Maybe Mr. P can shed some light on this, because I'm just trying to figure out for myself. This is just educational for me to actually make this video and understand that 50 to 60% of people who ordered an Onvo cancel, or 50 to 60% of those cancellations were they because of the subsidies that they were going to miss out on. So let me listen to it one more time. Again, it's at 22:20 in the video. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to try to hear this again.
Live up to some of your expectations. And we also understand that on the subsidy side, by the end of this year, some local subsidies and also the national trade-in subsidy will be gone. In that case, for some users who placed the order later may not have their cars picked up by the end of this year, and that will affect their subsidy. In that case, we have also looked at the users who eventually turned us off or turned us down, and 50 to 60% of those users eventually rejected us were because of the late delivery and the failure of not getting the subsidy by the end of.
Yeah, so it's kind of a hard one. I'm still unclear.
We also understand that on the subsidy side, by the end of this year, some local subsidies and also the national trade-in subsidy will be gone. In that case, for some users who placed the order later may not have their cars picked
In that case, for some users who placed the order later
up by the end of this year, and
may not have the cars picked up by the end of this year. Okay.
that will affect
And that's some users.
their subsidy. In that case, we have also looked at the users who eventually turned us off or turned us down.
We have looked at the users that eventually turned us on. It didn't say the users that actually ordered the Onvo. But, like I said, this is the importance, guys, of doing your own due diligence, okay, and coming to your own conclusion. Let's take a look at an article where it says Macquarie downgrades NIO over orders loss, week 4 revenue guidance. Okay, so this analyst that had upgraded NIO last month or earlier, now he's downgrading NIO. It says Macquarie analyst Eugene Xiao downgraded on Wednesday NIO's Hong Kong listed shares from outperform to neutral, slashing the price target from 38 to 38 from a previous 65. Wow. The firm also reduced its price target for NIO's U.S. listed shares to 480, down from 660. And he says, we are concerned about comments that 50 to 60% of Onvo orders were affected by the expiration of local purchase subsidies by end of 2024. Sal wrote in a note highlighting delivery delays as a critical issue. Okay. Now, also in this article, it says that William Lee, he addressed it. The challenges were mentioned by NIO CEO William Lee during the company's earnings call. And it says, okay, so the analyst says, we are concerned about comments that 50 to 60% of Onvo orders were affected by the expiration of local purchase subsidies by the end of 2024. Q4, the analyst noted. And this is what William Lee said during the call. We also, what you guys just heard, but this is the transcript. We also understand that on the subsidy side, by the end of this year, some local subsidies and also the national trading subsidy will become, and it's a period. So I guess there was some, it got cut off. In that case, for some users who place orders later may not have their cars picked up by the end of this year, and that will affect their subsidy. In that case, we have also looked at the users who eventually turned us off or turned us on, or turned, it says turned a ton, but it said it's really turned us on. And 50 to 60% of those users eventually rejected us because of the late delivery and the failure of not getting the subsidy by the end of this year, NIO CEO William Lee said during the call. Based on the transcript shared, this is now back to the person that's actually wrote this article. Based on the transcript shared, it seems that the percentage mentioned refers to the orders canceled and not the overall number of orders mentioned in the analyst research note. So there you go. Even here, this article is saying that, he thinks that 50 to 60% of the orders that have been canceled, this is the reason why they were canceled. Okay, I spent enough time on this video. If anybody else has anything to add to it, but you see how this can be, depending upon how you look at it, it would be a big deal if if you're losing half of your sales because of these subsidies are ending. But I don't think that's the case. If you think it's the case, it's fine. That's not what I'm getting. I'm getting something else, and I'm gonna listen to it one more time just for giggles. Let's see.
Live up to some of your expectations. And we also understand that on the subsidy side, by the end of this year, some local subsidies and also the national trade-in subsidy will be gone. In that case, for some users who placed the order later may not have their cars picked up by the end of this year, and that will affect their subsidy. In that case, we have also looked at the users who eventually turned us off or turned us down, and 50 to 60% of those users eventually rejected us were because of the late delivery and the failure of not getting the subsidy by the end of this year. It's also understandable, as after all, Onvo product is around 200,000 something, and 10 or 20,000 subsidy can be a significant amount to them. For ET9 and the Firefly, in general, they also have their own ramp-up pace and the preparation.
Okay, he said he understands because, the car costs around 200,000 won, and 20,000 won is, it could be a lot. So let's see how much 200,000 won is $27,000, 27,600, and 200,000 is 27,000 USD. So that's 200,000. And let's see how much 20,000. So 20,000, so that's close to $3,000. So yeah, he's right. 27,000. If you can save, let's just do the math. Let's pull up a calculator. Yeah, he's saying, hey, we understand the issue, and so 200,000 is this amount of money. Okay, minus, so $27,607. And then 1, 2, 3, 20,000. So 20,000. So we're just trying to see how much minus. Why can't I copy and paste into this calculator? Jeez. Okay, so there we go. So yeah, I mean, it's difference between paying 27,600 for something or paying 24,000. So it's significant, saving $2,700 USD. But they acknowledge that, and but still they're confident that they'll be able to meet the sales numbers that they projected. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you go do your own due diligence. Realize this is not financial advice, nutritional advice, relationship advice, health advice, Miami advice. It's not any kind of advice. And I just want to say shout out to Mr. P's channel, to Courtside Financial. Really like these channels. And yeah, I have to do my own due diligence, because you have to be able to get the information and make your own conclusion. And so, yeah, that's all I have to say for now. Peace out.